Therefore, we start to transition here to Georgia, which
Did you
testified to its way.
Did you get paid through May 5th or May
Come on.
4th
There we go.
as mayor of Dalton?
But also May 15th, though.
Tiffany.
Tiff.
Yeah, and I just wanted to read something for.
I couldn't hear what you said.
I'm reading something again from y'all laws and from your book.
From y'all's law.
Y'all's
says,
laws is crazy.
Tiffany!
Hey, grace and peace. I'm going to pull up a clip from the Tiffany Henyard hearing that happened this week. And shout out to AV to the Seventh Power, fantastic content creator. For whatever reason, the audio on my version of the video was not well, but AV has a great copy of it. So let me point out something that a lot of people didn't catch. So watch this.
Wade.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Yes, your friend, I think it's Kamal Woods, is that right?
It is.
Had mentioned that you guys were traveling here to before you found your residence to move into, coming in and out of town, staying at a hotel. How long were you doing that? Coming in and looking for a place.
So it was just for the month of April.
Month of April.
It was.
Okay. Okay. And when was your last day as mayor in the city that you were in?
Basically, like I just spoke to her, I lost the election in February, so I was no longer the mayor.
But-
Somebody else had won. And it's just a matter of.
But when
swearing
was your last day and the new mayor sworn in? Is
Watch this. Watch what happens here.
my question.
in. The new mayor got sworn in May 5th.
Okay, so were you mayor till May 4th?
I was no longer serving in that capacity. That's why we was transferring to this state.
So after the election, there was no mayor until,
Basically, I was
May
a lame duck.
That's not the
Basically, I
question.
couldn't do anything.
but you were mayor, correct?
My title was mayor. Yes.
Okay, okay. And
I said this even while I was there. Why did she let off of that? Tiffany was still mayor, but there's also another thing that people don't realize. Tiffany was also still supervisor until May 15th. So it wasn't just that she was mayor up to May 5th. She was also still the supervisor. So that's something that people don't realize and pay attention to. May 15th is when Napoleon Harris took over as the supervisor. So she was still employed in both positions at the same time.
are you aware? So well, first of all, you lived on Dobson Avenue in Illinois, in Cook County, correct? And was that a lease agreement that you lived there?
No.
Okay. Did you own the home?
No.
Okay, watch this. And I'm sorry. I like this lady right here, the blonde lady, but watch what Tiffany does.
How did you live there?
Hell?
I live there. Everybody know my story. I'm not here to put
Ma'am, I
anybody else
don't know
in
your
jeopardy
story.
as it relates to addresses, but everybody know where I live. I'm a public figure, was a public figure, and therefore people knew where I stayed. But currently, I live here in Fulton County. My address is what everybody displayed on the news, and basically, I've been here since May 1, and I have a lease, so we're supposed to stay within the laws. The law requires me to make sure I have domicile and my intent. My family lives here. My business is here. I am here. I live here. So we can talk about the past, the what ifs, but right now, the law is the law. I stay here in Fulton County.
Okay.
I'm sorry. She should have pushed back and asked more questions about how did you live in Dobson? Because I think that's where she was trying to get to. Is like, hey, you lived in Illinois, and I'm sorry, she let her off the hook. She had her definitely by the short hairs.
I
can't get over the orange phone on the podium. I've
Yeah,
never
the
seen
phone was
that.
crazy.
I've never seen that.
They
shit
were
before.
recording. Yeah, it was
I've never
crazy
seen
work.
that shit before.
just gotten information. It's not verified, but that you are still at the Dobson Avenue location as early as the beginning of 2026, but it's unconfirmed. Somebody
That's not
just sent it.
maybe instead of saying is unconfirmed, maybe you should have got her to tell you exactly how were you living somewhere rent free, lease free, mortgage free. How were you living there? Like maybe she should have just pushed back on her.
Jamie?
Yeah, that's not true at all.
Okay. And so when you moved here, you got your lease for your place to live. And when did you get your driver's license?
I'm not sure of the date I got it,
Okay.
but I do have it.
Based on what you turned in and based on Catherine Glenn's information, you got your driver's license on February 26th of 2026.
Okay,
Does that sound right to you?
it does.
And you registered to vote on February 27th of 26.
Correct.
Okay. And prior to you getting your driver's license here, did you have your Illinois license? Is that what you were using to drive?
Well, I don't drive, but I do or did have that license. That's correct.
Okay. So are you aware that in Georgia?
See, I see where she's getting at here.
Yeah.
And as a resident myself, or when I moved to Georgia, here's what I will show you, okay? Without revealing everything. It's my Massachusetts driver's license, okay? And then this is when I moved to Fulton County. This is my Georgia driver's license, all right? Now, what happened is when I went to the DMV, I had to show my lease, proof of residency, utilities, all of that in order for them to issue me this guy. Now, what they did is they took this Massachusetts one and they permanent marker, no longer valid. Okay. And then they said, welcome to Georgia. Okay. That's how that worked. Now let's see what's about to happen because I think I know where she's getting at.
I know what you're
Georgia, to be a resident, within 30 days, you have to get your Georgia driver's license.
doing.
No, I'm not aware of that. But again, that's not a requirement of when I change my ID. The requirement is where I live, my domicile. It has nothing to do with a license.
Well, following Georgia law does have to do with whether you're a resident or not. I don't know if you know this or not. I'm pretty basic when it comes to tech stuff, but I did a search for how to become a Georgia resident. And it says, first you get a domicile, a place to live, and then within 30 days you get a driver's license and you register your vehicle in the state.
That's what I did.
And that's it. Those are the only requirements. And then it suggests that you register to vote, but it doesn't require you to do that. Are you aware of that?
Again, I'm sticking to the law. The law requires me to make sure I live here in Georgia, that I have a lease, a legal lease that you do have.
Right.
Meet the requirements of 1 year of living here to run for office. I mean, all those
But
requirements.
see, that's what I don't understand because even with me, I was not allowed to transfer this driver's license from Massachusetts to Georgia. I
Correct.
had to apply for a Georgia driver's license. That's why, I don't know, but you have to show the lease for proof of residency. You can show other things, but some ain't right here. Some just not right.
Based on OCGA 40-5-20, Georgia law requires that residents get a license within 30 days. So, and it looks like it was February 26th, based on the information you gave us and Miss Glenn gave us. You got your driver's license on February 26th, which would be less than a year before the position takes place,
That's
correct?
not true. That is not the law. The law does not state that. And I will refer to the attorney to state the law. The law states
Tiffany?
domicile. The law states a resident
Tiffany.
living here in Georgia for 1 year from the date of my lease. My lease is May 1. I
Okay.
live here in Georgia.
Okay.
It
How
do
did
not
you-
say anything about you got a timeline to change your ID
How did
at
you-
all.
How did
It states, where do you live? What is
how
your
did she?
intent?
Well, I also did a search. I don't remember the wording, saying, I just moved to Georgia. What do I do to become a resident? And it said the same thing. It said you have 30 days. And I do want to tell you too, that in most states, I looked up I looked up the states. Most states, it says within 30 to 60 days, you have to get your driver's license and register your car. And in some occasional states, it says 90 days. But Illinois and Georgia, it's, under 60 days. So that is a
Again,
requirement.
That has nothing to do with the law. If I just stated I do
Okay.
not drive, and you're saying about a
That's not the
driver's
point.
license,
That's not the
I don't
question.
drive. He drives. I don't even own a car. So again,
Okay.
you're hovering over something that's not relevant to the law. The law states domicile, which I have, which I just proved to everybody. I gave you documentation.
Well, wait. Wouldn't we still have the same requirements for an ID? Can you transfer your ID? Like, I don't know.
gave you everything you need to say that I am a Georgia resident.
One more question. Did you know that in Cook County, Illinois, to hold an office there, you have to be a resident in that jurisdiction? So you were the mayor until May 4th of 2025, but yet you're saying.
But she also was the supervisor. I don't know. Maybe the board didn't know that. She wasn't just the mayor. She was a supervisor also. And that was until May 15th. So I do think that I really wish they knew that.
And you became a resident of Georgia May 1st of 2025.
So 3 days. Are we gonna? I don't know.
Okay.
So were you a resident of both states at the time?
I already answered that. I was a resident here May 1. of
While you were
2020.
mayor and
You can word it however you like. I was a
Dolphin.
resident here of May 1, 2025. I no longer had the position. I stated that.
That's
Testified
not the
to that.
difference. That's not it.
February of 2025, I lost the election. Therefore, we start to transition here to Georgia, which
Did you get-
testified to as well.
did you get paid through May 5th or May
Come on.
4th
There we go.
as mayor of Dalton?
But also May 15th, though.
Tiffany.
Tiff.
Yeah, and I just wanted to read something for driver license time. A late Georgia license does not automatically default residency if actual resident existed. So I want to put that on the record.
I couldn't hear what you said.
I'm reading something again from y'all laws and from your book.
From y'all's law.
Y'all's
said
laws is crazy.
Tiffany! No, this is not how you connect with Georgia voters. Tiffany! Stop it. Don't get defensive.
Driver license timing. A late
Y'all's
Georgia
laws.
license does not automatically defeat residency if actual resident existed. I just wanted to put that for the record so that
Can you give me the citation on that? That would be
Yeah, hold on.
SCGA what?
Yep, let me get it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you're running for office, please don't call it y'all's laws. Like, don't. These
Right,
are
it's not-
statutes that you have to abide by, and that you're moving into this area to defend, to change, to like create
Uphold,
more
yeah.
demonstrative change with legislation or whatever her seat really holds. But like, don't call it y'all's laws, Tiff. Come on, Tiff. Come on, Tiffy.
Tiffy's crazy.
How you doing, Mother? Yeah, from it.
Give us a statute.
Okay. Once I get it on here, the code for that, and then I recite it. Or the attorney can look it up too.
I have, while you're looking at that, I have a couple of questions for Attorney Cashapp. With regard to residency, did you state that it is not just domicile, it is several other factors, and it's the subjective?
And notice that Tiffany got them off of talking about whether or not she was still getting paid by talking about this foolishness. Masterclass at deception.
Ms.
Dirty
Henyard,
Rose is
before
crazy.
closing the hearing, you had said that you wanted to get the code section
Yeah.
that you wanted to provide to Member Adams or to this board.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, if you could just tell us the
Back
code
on.
section.
Put it back on.
And we wanted to see the
It looks like they were on FaceTime with somebody. Oh my God.
Okay,
They were.
it is OCGA 21-2-217. A late Georgia license does not automatically default residency if actual residence existed. A Georgia license alone is not enough without actual living presence.
But that's neither here nor there. I just think it was masterclass in how this woman got that woman off of her bumper when she was talking to her about, were you still getting paid? Were you living in two different places? And Tiffany went on about this, that, and the other. People know who I am. I live here in Fulton County. And still doesn't even understand our laws. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Give me your thoughts. Are y'all praying for Fulton County? Can I ask y'all to pray for Fulton County? Because good gracious alive, the devil has come down to Georgia. I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.